Hey guys, if you want to see my first impressions and my review on these three products from the new MAC Supreme Beam collection, so I got two Hyperreal foundations, one in gold and one in violet, and also this really pretty re-promote of this MAC Iridescent Powder and Silver Dusk. So if you're interested in any of these products, then keep on watching. Alright, I'm so excited. When I saw it was just released today, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go downtown, I have to get these for you, I have to review these for you. So, oh my gosh, it was like 90 degrees outside, so I was sweating to death. Yeah, I'm really happy I got my hands on this Silver Dusk Iridescent Powder highlight because I never was able to purchase this in the past when they had this out, and I've heard really good things. And with these two Hyperreal foundations, I mentioned to you in a past video that at first I thought they were actually bringing back the whole foundation line. So that got me super excited because I was unable to purchase their Hyperreal foundations in the past. Then I looked at the details and I saw they were more like liquid highlighters in the Hyperreal foundation sort of formula. So there's one violet, one gold, one rose gold, one bronze. Depending on your skin tone, your undertone, what kind of shade you're looking for, you can totally find a Hyperreal kind of highlighter that will work for you. So first of all, these Hyperreal kind of foundation highlighters, liquid highlighters, are in glass bottles, so they're very bougie. You can kind of tell that this one is the violet one and this is the gold one, but they're very subtle. You can just kind of see the tint kind of in person, but if you're not looking very closely, it's hard to tell, but you can see that this has more of a violet tint to it and this has more of a gold tint to it. So on their website, MAC says to use these either as a straight up liquid highlighter on all the high points of your face where you want to highlight, or to use it before you put on foundation. For me, I'm going to try the gold shade and mix it in with foundation for half my face, and I'll use the violet shade. I'll also mix in with foundation as like a mix and medium and do that on half my face, and we'll see if you can see kind of the different undertones, because I want to see if it can make like a satin or matte foundation more kind of glowy, and I want to see how the different tints work when mixed in with foundation. And I'll also show you what these look like on top of foundation, just as a straight up liquid highlight on my cheekbones. The reason why I got these two colors is because for the gold, I do have yellow undertones, so I thought this would be a nice kind of light, kind of a light gold highlight, and also mix in with foundation. And I got the violet because I do tend to have more sallow skin. It can kind of tend to look kind of, I don't know, like it doesn't have much life to it sometimes. So violet is a very nice shade that kind of counteracts sallowness in your skin and can bring more kind of vitality back to your skin. So that's why I got these two shades. So now let's get cracking. First I will mix in this gold Hyperreal foundation with a foundation, and let's do my left side. And then I will mix the violet in with foundation on the right side of my face. So let's start this off. I'm going to first mix in the gold with this Marc Jacobs Shameless foundation in the shade Y130. This is more of a satin foundation. Now let's mix in this Hyperreal foundation tint with this and see if we can make it look more glowy, more dewy. Yep. Alright, so there's the foundation. And let's try to pour this out. It looks super liquidy. I just don't want to overdo it. I feel like it's going to be super concentrated. So it's like trying to get just one drop. Ah! This is too much. See, look at that. Okay, so that's way too much, but I'm just going to mix a part of that into this foundation. So all I did was take about this much on my finger, because that was way too much, and I'm going to mix what's on my finger here into the foundation. There you go. Let me just take half of that. I'll mix in a little bit more. Let's just make it ultra glowy, what it looks like now, and I left about that much in, so I took about half of it. So let's dot this on the left portion of my face, and then we'll do the violet on the right portion. So you can see the difference with with this side versus no foundation. And also it really has made this foundation a lot more kind of glowy and yellow tinged. And it really did get rid of a lot of the red in my skin, that yellow. So it really brightened it up, kind of cut a lot of that red out of my skin. So it actually does not look bad as a mix-in with foundation. And like the MAC website says, you can just put it underneath foundation, and that's more of like a kind of glowy primer. But for me, I really wanted to show you this way because that's kind of what I bought it for, to mix in with foundation. So I still have a bit of that gold Hyper Real foundation. I'll leave that here and use it as kind of a cheek highlight in a second, unless it kind of dries down. So if it dries down, we'll just add some more. Before we do that, I'm going to mix in some of that violet shade with my foundation and apply it to the other half of my face. Oh, it's super liquidy. I really wish there was like a pump or something in here. This is very messy. Look at that. Super, super messy. I just don't want to waste the product. You can see the rim of the bottle already. There's a distinct violet tone there. So I'm just going to mix pretty much all of it in there with the foundation. Like that. Mixing, mixing. I mix it all together and let's just put it on my face. Ah, got some foundation in my hair. It's okay. Just keep going. Yeah, I can definitely see the violet peeking out of this foundation now. Okay, so it's hard. I can see on camera, it's kind of hard to tell the difference. But on this side where I've applied the violet Hyper Real foundation, my skin appears a lot more kind of illuminated, youthful, glowy. It's just, and you can see kind of a hint of violet kind of peeking through the foundation. This side, it has kind of sheared out the foundation, made it more kind of glowy, but the glow is a lot more subtle. It's just very, very, very subtle. I actually prefer the violet to the gold, which surprises me. I thought I'd prefer the gold, but I think both would work well under foundation because then it's like even less obvious, you know, just kind of to kind of give a kind of subtle glow to your skin. But when you actually mix it in with foundation, the glow is a lot more evident. But comparing the two, at least with my light skin tone, the violet does appear a lot more kind of youthful, glowy, and more kind of skin-like. It just looks like you have really kind of amazing skin with the violet one. I'm really shocked. I didn't think the violet one would really appeal to me more than the gold one as a kind of foundation mix-in. But I do like the violet more. Right, now let's apply this gold Hyper Real foundation straight up as a liquid highlight. So some of that, so you see I still have that gold here. So I'm going to put this on my beauty blender and pop this on the left side of my cheekbone as a highlight, and we'll see how it looks. So I have it there on my beauty blender. This might be too much. Let's just see. So it's a very subtle, natural highlight on my skin tone. It's not blinding by any means. It's very much a natural kind of look. It's actually quite nice for like a daily sort of liquid highlighter. But if you're someone who wants to kind of have a blinding kind of like, oh, it's time to disco, welcome to the 70s type of feel, then this you won't like. It's very subtle, but I like it. That's one reason I like liquid highlighters, because of how subtle it is, how it adds that sort of accent to your cheekbones where you're just kind of glowy. So personally now I can tell I like it better kind of as a liquid highlighter. this gold shade not as a mix-in. Now let's try the violet shade as a liquid highlighter on the right side of my face. So I'm just going to use some of that violet that's on the lip of this bottle, just so I don't waste any highlight. So here it is. And this is no different to how I apply liquid highlighter normally. I normally just put the liquid highlighter on the back of my hand, and then I put the beauty blender in there, and then I apply it. I find it applies highlighter easier on my face. It blends easier than just using my fingers. Sometimes I do that too, but normally I just use the beauty blender. Okay, now let's try the violet shade. Wow, that's a lot of product, but it does sheer out. If you remember with the gold, it sheers out very easily. Wow, I actually really like this. The glow is more intense. Can you see that? The glow on this side of my face with the violet. I mean, it's still natural, but it's just really kind of girly, really pretty, and more glowy than the gold. If you can see the gold here, and then you see the violet. I'm really shocking myself, guys. I really like how the violet appears as a straight up liquid highlight as well. It's subtle enough, but still glowy. Yes, there's a slight violet hue, but it kind of appears more pink, more like a pink hue once you kind of blended it into your cheekbone. It kind of looks more like a light pink, like a violet light pink glow. So I really think if you have fair skin or fair light skin, I think the violet Hyper Real foundation will probably suit you more. And then if you have kind of deeper, and if you have light skin more on the deeper side of light or medium skin, I think the gold or the bronze shade will probably appear more like a highlight on you. And then if you have deeper skin, the rose gold shade, I think. But that's just me guessing from looking at the shades. You should test them out at the MAC counters on your skin. But I really like how this violet looks. It does come off more like a light pink with some hints of violet in there as a liquid highlighter. And it's much glowier than this gold. This gold is super, super subtle. It's still nice, but extremely subtle. I hope you guys can see the difference on camera with this gold versus this violet on my face. Like, really, the violet shade is the clear winner on my skin tone. Regardless if I use it as a straight up liquid highlighter or if I use it as a mix-in. Now let's try this MAC Silver Dusk Powder as a highlight over both sides of my face, over the violet pigment and over the gold Hyper Real pigment. So I'm really happy I can test this out now that I own it, because one of MAC's kind of gold powders is a really kind of glorious, beautiful powder highlight that I use as a highlight with a brush like this so that it's less dense, so it still appears as a highlight. I love that gold powder as a highlight. So in the next month or so, I'll probably do a MAC top favorite products video, and I will definitely talk about that MAC gold powder and show you what it looks like, because it's amazing and no one talks about it. The amount of product you get in that container, it's huge. So anyway, I'll show you that in a later video, but now let's get to this Silver Dust. I can't wait. Just looking at it in the container, it looks like there's a pinkish hue to it. So it's called Silver Dusk. So I'm assuming, I thought it would be like, I don't know what I thought it would be, but I thought it would be more silver. But yeah, if it was a true silver highlighter, you'd be like a super, super shiny and maybe like a White Walker or something from like Game of Thrones. Maybe? No? I don't know. But there's nothing wrong with that. But this does look a lot more pink, like a pink kind of loose highlighter, which is very flattering in my opinion on lighter skin tones. Yes, it's definitely pink. So it's like a light pink loose highlighter. So let's go over the gold Hyper Real foundation first. Oh wow, guys. Do you see that? This is a gorgeous glow. Look at that, guys. That is really pretty. Do you see that? Oh my god. So this Silver Dusk it's kind of like in between a natural and a blinding highlight, which I think is kind of the best type of highlight. It's just really kind of perfect. You look glowy. I don't see any glitter particles. It just looks like I have healthy kind of glowy skin. Doesn't emphasize my pores too badly. It emphasizes a tiny bit of my pores, but not too much. I mean, with any highlighter, you're going to emphasize what's underneath it because it's a highlight. So you're highlighting either if you have perfect skin or pores or whatever it is, that's going to be highlighted. But this, it's still very flattering. There's a tiny bit of texture, but not much. It's just kind of super flattering, honestly, and especially in person. It just looks like the perfect kind of highlight for fair to light skin. Wow, that's amazing. See the difference? Okay, now let's put it over the violet side. There you go. Oh, wow. That is really pretty. And because the violet is pretty much the same tone, because it has the pinky kind of undertones in the violet as the silver dusk, this is even more intense. This is double the intensity of the gold. So this gold looks a lot more kind of natural and kind of glowy now than this side. This, when I layer the silver dusk over the violet pigment, it's pretty blinding. It's pretty blinding, guys. This does not look natural. This now looks like a blinding in your face, I can see your highlight from space type of highlight. So if you like super blinding highlights and you have kind of paler light skin, if you layer that silver dusk powder over the violet Hyperreal, it is a blinding wet highlight. This side, you kind of know it's not natural. This side, it's in the middle. People will wonder, if they don't know much about makeup, it just kind of looks like you have super healthy skin. It's like a sheen to your skin. All right, guys. So personally, that silver dusk highlight, I wouldn't wear it over the violet Hyperreal foundation. It's just too much. It's nice maybe for like photography, Instagram, that kind of thing, but in real life, it's just way too much shine. Is that possible? Too much highlight? Well, for me, it's just a lot. So I would never wear this in real life. But the silver dusk over the gold Hyperreal liquid highlighter, when it's applied as a highlighter with this silver dusk, I think is perfect. So as a recap, I like both Hyperreal foundation liquid highlighters. The gold, I think, looks really nice if you're going to apply it as a liquid highlighter paired with the silver dusk together, but it has to be paired together. Alone, that gold highlight, it's just kind of okay. The violet Hyperreal foundation highlight alone looks amazing, amazing. It's a really pretty kind of cooler toned highlight. It looks really nice, and even though I have more yellow to neutral tones, it still looks really nice on my skin tone. Not weird. It comes off more pink than violet. But pairing that violet as a liquid highlight with the silver dusk, it's too much for me, especially in person. It's just a lot going on right here. So yeah, I will get used out of both of these Hyperreal foundation shades, but I will use them in different ways. I'll probably use both of them under foundation too. The gold if I just want more of a subtle sort of peeking through as more of like a primer. But if I want to use the violet as a primer under foundation, I'd use the violet if I want a more super glowy look. And same with mixing it. The purple violet shade makes it super kind of glowy versus the gold, it kind of a subtle type of glow when it's mixed in with foundation. And the silver dusk powder, you can tell that it's really nice, very finely milled. It does not look like glitter on your skin. It looks like a wet highlight, a kind of cooler toned pinky highlight. So I'd either wear this silver dusk shade alone or on top of a kind of liquid or stick highlight that isn't so intense. This violet shade was a bit too intense, so when I topped an intense Silver Dusk wet looking highlight on top of this violet, it was just a lot. But when you have more of a moderate type of highlight, it does kind of make a perfect highlight with the Silver Dusk. So the Silver Dusk looks like it's going to be one of my all-time favorite powder highlighters. It's just very flattering, and especially if you're going to use it on top of, let's say, like the RMS Living Luminizer or the Hourglass Vanish highlighter stick. Silver Dusk is just really kind of, I think, the star of these three products, I think, is the Silver Dusk powder. So for me, ranking these products, I would go with the Silver Dusk Iridescent powder, then the Violet Mix-In Hyperreal, and then last would be the Gold Hyperreal. But they're all really nice products. It depends on what kind of look you're going for. More of a toned down look versus more of an intense look versus more of kind of an in the middle kind of glowy look. So yeah, you'll find something for your needs. I hope this quick review was helpful for you so you could see what the products kind of look like on my skin. Hope everything is going really well with you guys. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.